project is about the day of graphic design student. And I think this is the typical day of me. Like in the morning, I wake up and go to online class, and I have to log in the class and learn new knowledge. After that, I will do all the assignment, and when I finish, I will go to bed. Sometimes I will go to bed very late after study.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
I think the colors are interesting. Is that upside down with the lamp here in a certain way? The thing I have with your final, I don't see a lot of transition of narrative. It's like you're in front of a computer and then you're reading on the floor. We would need more frames, I think, to create here maybe more elements of transition. I think your explanations are good, but I need to complain about your portfolio. Your artwork is what we want to see. If I have something like this, okay, is like your artwork is about 25% of the whole slide or the whole frame. The text, the 90s retro web layout, all that is really distracting from your work. This is what I want the portfolio to be about. So your work should use like at least 70, 80% of all the slide or all the page in this case. Too much text, too distracting. And also you need to respect your work. Don't put anything ever on top of your artwork. Your artwork is front. That's what I come to see. Okay? All right.
Yeah.
Good. That's important. Lately, yeah. Can I present after an? Well, yes, you can. Just ask nicely, and that can be done. Oui, on one page. I can complain already. Okay, are you there, Hui? Hello, Lately, Hui?
Yes.
Yes.
Hello, everyone.
Good afternoon. Go. Welcome. Tell us about your work, please.
Yes. I'm going to talk about my project. There are some parts I don't know do well, but I feel like I'm trying. Lesson 1. I got the idea from the rectangle dash, but the thickness of the rectangle together to create the word stress. Lesson 2. On the harmful aspect of social problem. And I feel that my article is quite best. Number 3, I use weather color magazine paper to create a spread of a boy and girl sitting on the mountain watching the sunset over the sea. In lesson 4,
Sorry, which one is 4? Is this one or that one? The one on top?
What? Yeah.
Which one is number 4? Is it this one on top or bottom?
Picture 2. Lesson 4 is by
this one, I guess.
It's one by Vietnamese song, and I feel this story to be true, and coincidentally this boy and girl accidentally met the person they all love on the familiar past of how he recalls the memory when the two had sweet happy moment together until the boy realizes the world was slowly drifting on way and avoiding him, and love is only really fun. Flowers are only really beautiful when the guy passion realizes he is just a substitute. And lesson 5, in my one day online learning story during the pandemic, Every morning, I usually get up at 6:30 a.m. after personal occasion. I ensure the time I go to class, during the break, I will have breakfast and review lesson. Online lesson during the pastime and on waiting and remember your school day. Meeting my friend and teacher even. Though on my idea, thank you everyone for listening.
Thank you, Ji. Okay, your explanation is good. You also mentioned, of course, the idea but for the final project, you should tell us more about like what material you use. This is done by hand. You have used watercolor. You use watercolor also a lot in the storyboard exercise 4. I think this is very good. You have like a good sequence. You have also a good change of framing point of view. So that is good in this case. So I think well done for this. I would suggest you present your portfolio in separate pages and not try to cram all that in one page, especially because those are artwork that are very different. You're going to have black and white geometry, you have collage, you have storyboard. So you want really, they don't, they're not like the same. So you want to present that on different pages, but at least you use like very neutral background so it doesn't distract. What is standing out is the artwork. That's a good idea. Okay, thank you. After Hui, I'm late Hui. Yes, you are. Chen Yun Huang An. Chen Yun Huang An. Chen Yun Huang An. Can I present after Hui 5 question marks? So yes, 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 yes. All right, 5 times. Chen Yun Huang An. Here. Good. Yes. Stop. Reset. You there, Anne?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Welcome, welcome. Tell us about your design, please.
About the black and white topic, I want to show the story of animal being illegal hunting. I use the shadow of 2 hands. When you put your hand like this in front of the light, the shadow will look like an animal. To show that this happened were made by human. The line around the finger defining for the negative effect of illegal hunting include poaching elephant for the tusk or poaching the tiger for the skin and bones. And I hope that in the future this situation can be reduced. About the lab 2, can you next? The social issue, actually the problem that are happening to us. It is global warming and water pollution with more and more emission from the factories. The earth temperature is increasing, leading to melting ice and a series of the consequences. Besides that, a problem is still in water pollution. And I want to show the serious consequence of this situation by the picture from there. I expect that each of us will be more reactive in protecting the environment around us. The last 3. In my mind, a happy future is a future where everyone can live together equally, whether you are white or black. So I divide the face into 2 parts. One half, I have a lot of colors, and the other one is all black, and I combine that to one face. I think the real happy future is that each person can feel proud of the skin color they have when they were born, not low self-esteem because of the skin. The last 4, I draw a weekend of girls. Instead of starting her day at midday on the weekend, the girl start her day at 6 o'clock and she enjoy every moment of her life. From beautiful makeup post on Instagram to eating her favorite cake, I set up the frame of Re-Way. I wish we could control every frame of our life. And lab 5, I choose drawing by storyboard. And during the pandemic, my day start at 7 a.m. I do exercise, have breakfast, and then get ready for the class. Because study online, I don't have much space to think about the drawing ideas. Sometimes I will also have no idea at that time. I will take time to relax. It's something after I finish drawing, I will take a picture and post it on LMS. And I end my day with TikTok and watching movie. I just use the black and white color because I think the color of my life cannot be seen from the outside. And finally, thank you, teacher and everyone.
Okay, good. Yeah, good explanation. I think you present the work flat, so that's working good in this case. Good explanation also with the artwork. Maybe just remove the scan with Cam Scanner. It takes a minute in Photoshop for saving that for later. I think your final project is very interesting. You use different framing and also point of view. So it's personal, it's dynamic, and there are some good transition throughout. So no complaints here. Thank you for that. Okay, good. After that, do we have more volunteer? That was Miss Anne Vuong Swan V. Vuong Swan V, yes, indeed. Vuong Swan V we have, I believe. Vuong Swan V is here. Yeah, wow. Okay, are you there, V?
Yes, I'm here, teacher.
Okay, welcome. Tell us about your work.
For the first product, I name it as Escape because that is the feelings that I used to have. The things that I want in this product is like the escape, like the name that I made for it. So you can see that the wormhole shape in the middle in full in depth, like showing no sign of stopping. And I also using dot to hide, like to show the feeling. Also, we can show those texture, but I feel like when we're using dot, it will show more emotion. And the hand the zigzag texture, I believe that it can portray how the character emotion trying to escape, trying to run from the whole worm shape. And also, I believe that every dark kernel, there will be a light. So I putting some positive picture like flowers around to simple for a good things will be happened. And for the next project is that I'm choosing social problems. You can see on the left and right is present for the land and the ocean. It is in the same situation that is both being destroyed. But the details that I want to put in here is the eye of the people. They're closing their eye, which is that maybe we can see the problems, but we decided to close our eye and ignore it. And I made it by watercolor. So the message that I want to be here is that each of us is responsibility for the environment. So we have to take the responsibility and face with it. And for the last 3, actually I don't really like it, but in my happy word, I choose in this lab is that woman will be a queen of each of them. So they don't need to depend on anyone. So you can see the picture, the woman here is seeing how free in the way that she wear her swimsuit, reading newspaper, and the image 3 hand of a man is that trying to provide for her things like the things that she like. But the attitude of the girl in that I choose is she didn't care. So I just want to show to everyone that in the happy world that I want, a woman will be like dependently in financially, academically, and we build happiness for ourselves. And for the last for the storyboard, you can see today reality is we have a problem of child abuse, which is alarming in like the case of an 8-year-old girl. So I was going to do this in black and white, but I think it didn't show enough, so I using marker to show the pain that the children is have. And I also adding a little detail is the letter. So the image of the letter is to show parents is responsibility for what they do. Children also have their own emotions. So, but no matter what, innocent thought and love. So I just want to show in that picture. So to lab 5.
Sorry.
Can
Yeah,
you?
yeah, I'm trying. It's not working. My bad. Okay, there we are.
The lab 5 is a day of graphic design in pandemic. Actually, at first, I didn't have an idea, but until I looking at the Van Gogh picture, and I think that what if I have a day to see the real painting of Starry Night of Van Gogh? So I just drawing like a day that I'm working and then I'm sleeping and I'm dreaming about the time that I can go to the museum and see my artists, like my idol, like Van Gogh and picture. Yeah, so that is all of my idea for this presentation. Thank you for listening.
Right, thank you. Yeah, explanations are good. Overall, I think you explained well your artwork and the technique that you use to create it and what you're trying to present also. This is a bit small, huh? It's like...
Yeah, I have a problem with that.
Yeah, I can see that. And this one, okay, I think it's interesting because there's like a lot of good transition, point of view also, and top shot and middle shot transitions. So that's pretty interesting. I like that. But please be careful. This is your big work. This is your final. So don't cut any elements. It's like here the frame is missing. This is supposed to be like the big one. You can remove also that. Photo scan and try to present that, like full page. Don't trim the edges. But overall, it's a good job with the transitions and the narrative. It's also imaginative. Where's the COVID in there? The question is like, you're supposed to bring COVID in the story. It's more Van Gogh than COVID. I visited his museum, Van Gogh, in Amsterdam. We say Van Gogh, not Van Gogh. I learned that too. Okay. Tui. Yes, you are. And can I present after Swanvi? Yes, you can. And after you, we're going to take a break. Okay. So, Tui. Yes, we do. All right. One moment, please. And welcome. Are you there, Tui?
Yes, I'm here.
Excellent. Tell us about your work, please. Hello.
Can you say your screen?
Oh, but why? You don't remember your work? No, I'm joking. 1 minute. Good idea. That. All right. I think. Yes. More better. All right. 1 minute. Yeah. What's going on here? Welcome again. Tell us about your work.
This is the lab 1. The process is a work expression display the image of a human being with his arm raised to his face and the two lines of the tear surrounded by negative emotion wrapped around the character and expresses in the darkest color in the picture. I'm very like this picture, but it's the wrong topic, so the result is not good. Next to the lab 2,
This is the poster with the content warning that people are now too dependent on the electronic device, especially is the smartphone. The spotter is feature a human arm covered by a smartphone with a red background to draw the viewer attention. Next to the lab tree, this is the work that I experienced by my dream in the future. It was drawn with passion. The material of the work is washi tape mixed with my drawing. The picture describe me in the future that I want to be. To draw everything that I want. The work in my land will be expresses through stroke. Next to lab 4, this work is based on the story of a character in the game that I play. This character visiting the cave of the deceased friend of him. The line in the work is also taken from the game to describe the memories of him in the past when after his friend is dead, and now is who can no longer drink with him. In the lab 5, this story page tell about the 3-month blockade in Ho Chi Minh City, and the peak of the epidemic in 2021. The story is about the one day when I working and so when I go to the bed, and this time is very difficult for me, but this is a special life, a special memory in my life. So I draw this in this work. That's all. Thank
All right,
you.
thank you. Yeah, okay. Well, first I'm going to complain about your portfolio, that the artwork should be the most important thing. And you have a lot of distraction with text and layout. This, for example, I mean, this is the work here, and all of that is like very complex. You use outline type over newspaper. It's extremely confusing. Your explanation is good though. So limit that. Also use, we studied hierarchy in this class. If you have text body this size, you cannot have font size for title 10 times text body, please. Maximum 2 or 4 time ratio is essential in this case. So I have a problem with that. And also, if it's your portfolio, excuse me, where's your name? I mean, you're supposed to present your work. You're supposed to have your name somewhere on the portfolio, especially if you have all this text. You can at least put your name somewhere, fair lady. For your last story is good. It's very interesting the way that you are creative with dynamic framing and transition. I think also you should have, again, by more resolution. We cannot even read the message from mom and dad. You can scan, I think, at a higher density to create that. The idea is good, by the way, transition between phones. So I think you have good ideas for the final one. Okay, good for that, I think, I hope. We shall now proceed to take a break, and next attendance is at 2:45. Do you have any questions so far? It's going well. We're doing good. Okay then. Okay, we are going to take attendance again at 2:45 and continue and finish our presentation. I think we will be able to do that now. Okay, please confirm your attendance one more time. Nguyen Tan Yan. Nguyen Tan Yan, no. Chan Kwang Chung.
Yes, I'm here.
Good. Lei Song Kwa. Lei Song Kwa, no. Nguyen Nyop Tan Thuy.
Yes.
Yes. Chan Yun Huang An.
Yes.
Yes. Vu Hong Swan Vi.
Yes.
Nguyen Quoc Nhat Min.
Yes.
Chan Nyop Bao Nhi. Chan Nyop Bao Nhi. Problem.
Stubborn.
1 minute. I have a portfolio, but I also need to have a student with that portfolio to present. Okay. Lei Huang Tien An.
Yes, teacher.
Well, there we go. Nguyen Quang Hung.
Yes, teacher.
Lei Chong Hu. Bui Tien Kim.
Yes, teacher.
Vo Min Tuan.
Yes, sir.
Pham Hong Viet.
Yes, sir.
Nguyen Thi Nhu Nyop.
Yes, teacher.
Ho Chung Fat.
Yes, teacher.
Chan Dang Tao Van.
Yes, teacher.
Pin Hong Yin.
Yes, sir.
Lei Thuy Huy.
Yes.
Nguyen Nyop Tung Vin.
Yes.
Nguyen Tuan Tan.
Yes.
Chan Thi Min Nyet. Chan Thi Min Nyet. I can see you, Nyet. Would you please be confirming your attendance, please? Chan Thi Min Nyet, you need to present also. I have your portfolio. Nguyen Thi Yen Luan.
Yes.
Chan Tan Nhan.
Yes.
Yes. Bui Thi Nyop Thuy.
Yes.
Yes. Chin Yop Tan.
Yes.
Good. Thank you all. Chan Thi Min Nyet, would you like to? No? Oh, well, I only take attendance. I don't create it. Chai Ai Nyet, I call your name 4 times. Now, okay. Please, everybody, let's stop the class for Nyet. Okay, start your timer. This is Nyet disturbing us because cannot answer. Grrr. Waste my time, waste your time, waste everybody's time. Okay, I guess, including Nyet. All right, so I have a request. Bui Tien Kim, can I present after 3? Yes, you can. Yes, absolutely. But if you want to present one, I need to share my screen. That is good. Next, I have to find my little timer somewhere in summertime. Good. After that, I need a portfolio. Have. And then, Kim, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Good. Welcome, welcome. Tell us about your project.
Yes. First, let's take a look at my first drawing. And loneliness is the feeling I get when I look at the painting. This is the picture with a gloomy mood.
ripples and sunsets that make me think about my problems and find ways to solve them. A tree without leaves and lonely a chair in the middle brings a feeling of loneliness. On having sorrows but not being able to confide in anyone. This is my feeling at that time or the reason the picture was complete by pencil. Let's come to the second picture with the theme of social problem. I have drawn the main causes of global warming and environmental pollution. When it comes to emissions from factories, deforestation, littering, overpopulation, animal hunting, and technology, I have seen some pictures of emissions from factory, deforestation, littering, overpopulation, animal hunting, and technology. That's got me inspired drew this picture by illustrator. Continue to the third picture is the meticulously cut and glued on top of each other, forming a picture. The picture is the life cycle of a person, and in it there have four small pictures. At first, falling in love, then getting married, and having a small family, and finally enjoy together in old age. And the strings in the picture are the links of each stake. I was inspired by a Vietnamese love story TV show, and I saw in the couple they talk about the moment when they meet to live together to present. I have a wish. I dream in the future. I have a small family, and I can enjoy about life in old age. The next is fourth picture. The first picture is when Titanic meet the big iceberg, and second pic is the Titanic dug the iceberg. The pictures number 3 and 4 are everyone enjoyed themselves on the Titanic. Finally is the end of the trip. And the reason why I choose to draw on Titanic was I saw the picture of the current Titanic in the deep sea. If have a question in my mind is if what would be like if the Titanic didn't have an accident, and I imagined and found the answer that the end of the Titanic trips everyone would be happy and happy. So the picture I draw by pencil. The picture number 5. This is the picture I drew about myself when the time of social distancing happens. The pandemic keeps me from going out. It makes me miss my friends and get boring, very, very boring. I cannot go out to get ideas, so I just stay at home, enjoy nature, and play with my pet. That's what motivates me to look for ideas. The picture was complete by Will Pant. My presentation was complete.
Thank you. Okay, I like your explanation. I think it's very clear. I understand better what you did with collage in this case, so that is pretty good. I think here the transitions are good. There's a good narrative and a sequence that is established. I think you should put a bit more detail. This is your final work. You may want to vary the width of your pen, maybe, or to put like a few more details. But overall, you also have a chance of point of view, so that's pretty good. Okay, thank you for that, Miss Kim. Any volunteer after Kim? Yeah, wait, don't run too fast. Okay, Pinky Fingstrung Fat. I guess that's Pinky Fingstrung Fat. You there?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, there's a lot of echo on your side, and I cannot find. Okay, there you go. That's your work. All right. Ho Chung Fat. I need your real name, by the way. Without wait. All right. Stop. Reset. Okay, please welcome Mr. Fat. Tell us about your project, please.
Yes, teacher. And next class, teacher. Yes, that one I bring my emotional attraction with picture in a day, and sometimes I flexible, and sometimes I cut a tick, and sometimes I touch. Yeah, and lab two. Um, lab two is a portal about to motivate from like some doctor and also fight case compliances advice for people and remind for yourself. Yes, yes, and three. And the thing that has a meaning. A happy future is living in a peaceful world without pain and lose. A life where you can support yourself and eat without worrying about the price. And next, left four. Yes, that is a funny story told about misunderstanding of Pinky's classmate about him dancer because he studies online and only communicate by social network. Yes, and love five, that is the daily life of a graphic student. Yes, in during pandemic and social distancing, he cannot go out and do anything in home. Yes.
Okay, thank you. I think here you have in the final project some good change of point of view, of perspective. That is good. I think my problem is that your artwork should occupy the full page. You know, it's like title and presentation here are taking more place than your actual artwork. Portfolio is really about your work. It should stand out a bit more in this case. You should explain also what technique you use to create that, ink, marker. So we have an impression also for designer. The story we could read ourselves. This is one typeface. This is a different typeface. This is a different typeface. This is really something that we learn in this unit to limit the number of typeface. If you want to use text in a portfolio, and I mean if, it's not necessary, you need to be consistent. You need to have one typeface for text body and maybe one typeface for title. This is way too big font size. You know, you cannot go more than 2 times font size of text body. And give the real name. Lab 2, we don't know. What is that? Is that, okay, social problem color. Okay, that's interesting. Happy future collage. Lab 3 is not very representative or explanatory of what you're doing there. The use of color is good in your final. I think that we create like some point of interest could be a bit more developed. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Next in line. Yeah. Okay. Wait. Yet internet as problem. Okay. Right. Yeah. Chin Yup Tan, can I present?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, wow, you're eager and ready. That's good. I'm not. Give me a second.
I will present my portfolio including 5 labs.
Wait a minute. Let me display it first. Thank you. There you are. That's your work here?
Yes, the first lab, you
We don't
can
see a thing,
zoom
buddy.
in.
What is that? That's mini. Okay.
Sorry.
Right. That's yeah. Okay. Please.
The first lab, the material I use is a black pen to create contrast. Physically, Unger is holding a pen straight in her fist. My teeth are clenched. I have feeling of tension in my neck. I like thick test. Anger is a pen that I feel is well worth holding in my fist. The next lab tool I use to contrasting colors orange and blue to highlight the sea and sky. I a photo art attacked with candid reports of a whale with charge in its stomach. I hope my work will foster the ongoing pollution dialogue and find ways to reduce water pollution effect. Lab 3. I use color paper collect created shadow for the house and make the flower growing in the middle of the road and in the orange of the heat and the blue flower to show the contrast. I'd like to send you a few new glimmers of hope that I send you. That's a less there to hope for a new life that reviving light to this flower that's right when life is very different due to pollution. In next last for I use black and white pen. Create 6 frames with different size and each frame is a different background. Maybe you want to change and enter new room, but taking action scare you instead of daring to fail. You decide to stay in your comfort zone and accept your boring life as why in the picture says sitting alone, blame himself. And finally, lab 5, I use computer graphics to draw and I have character basis internet. The dialect of two characters in family that is far away from each other infected by virus. Yes, that's all.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think the funnel is interesting. That's a good point of view, but you only have like top shot portrait. So you may want to change the perspective a little bit here, in my opinion. Your portfolio, I mean, come on. You need to adjust the pages to be more visible. That's one thing. Avoid also decorative elements like that. Is it part of the artwork? It's distracting. Use full page for the artwork. So lab 3 is happy future collage. Lab 4 is happy future collage. It gets a bit confusing. I think overall your design was quite good and your explanation good. But in terms of portfolio, really, you need like one page, full page, one artwork. Don't spend too much effort on distracting background. It's the work that must speak. It's your work. It's your portfolio. Okay, thank you for that. And that was Mr. Tan. And Chandan Tauvan. Yes.
Yes, teacher.
Chandan Tauvan we have. 1 minute. You're ready. I'm not.
Yes.
Chandan. Ooh, countryside. Okay. Oof, one big poster. Everything jammed there.
Good evening.
Good evening, teacher and everyone. My name is
Oh, good
Thảo Vân.
afternoon.
SA
Is it
1618
evening on the
2024.
phone? Okay.
With the last one, black and white mood. Because sad is expressing my emotion. It's the fear. My mood was displayed by geometric shape, lines, and dots. I wrote on a paper, use marker color black and pencil 4B and 8B. The next, lab true color and social problem. I choose smoking as my topic because actually I decline smoking a lot, and all of us know that smoking is harmful for smoker health or even anyone who around them. In this project, I use paper, brows, geometric shape, lines, text, and finally color by watercolor. The next one, Luxury College Happy Future. I want to confess the gratitude for doctors and medical staff. However, it also may help about the happier work without disease or pandemic. I read materials. Some of them I use scissors to cut and some I use cut by my hand. And then I stick them together by glue. Then the last four storyboard and multiple frames. My project was inspired by a real story of American man self-immolation for peace in Vietnam in 1956. This story is an inspiration for Tố Hữu, a Vietnamese poet, wrote Emily Try, and I brought that poem into the final frames of my drawing. I wrote it on paper, used pencil and black marker. Finally, the last five, they as graphic design student in the pandemic. I just wrote about my story around 2 weeks ago when I was very excited coming back to Ho Chi Minh City, but my mom got COVID. So I become the F1 and it's a little bit upset to me. I wrote it on paper, used pen, black marker, because I can't go out, so I just use what is available in my house. I use oil pastel of my younger brother to coloring my drawing. That's all.
Okay. Well, I think that's good. Don't put title over the artwork. Respect the artwork. Title would go on the one page, one design so that we see the work. Try to avoid having like scanner tag on top of your work. This is to present your work, your visual identity. That should come first. Don't stack work on top of each other that you're cutting the word. One page, one design. Your explanations are good. This is again title on top of the work. No. Don't do that. Final is good for the change of point of view. Action sequence between frame is good with different point of view. So that is pretty good, I think, overall. Yeah. Okay, thank you. More detail though could do. Now, that was Ms. Van. And after Ms. Van, Pham Hong Viet. Pham Hong Viet.
Yes, teacher.
Present. Yeah, hi. 1 minute, please.
Yeah.
Not ready. Not ready. Got it. Yes. Stop. Reset. Welcome, Viet. Tell us about your work.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Hello, teacher. My first project is the personal feeling. I choose problem. I get the idea from the standard class in the church that they use many color piece of glass to combine it and to build art. To create that art, I use.
You're too far. Get back to the microphone, buddy.
Sorry.
There you go.
I use pencil and black ink to create this, and this is my phone. Next, please. The second project, I get the idea from the warming global, the polar bear in the North Pole. Sorry, teacher. Pole, North Pole. My microphone have problem, sir.
No, you're good. We can hear you. Carry on.
The warming global is more and more. The Earth is more hot, so the bear is melting. I use the Adobe Illustrator to create this. Next. The first project I imagine one day we can play the basketball in the space by using SpaceX. I use many. I use the orange to create the marks. Yeah, next. And the many frames, multiple frames. I create I use based on the video in YouTube. The girl is walking with the dog, but the dog is attention with the butterfly. So the dog is tracking the girl. Yeah, but I'm not happy with this project because I can use more effect to this project. Yeah. Next, please.
Ooh, that's small.
Yeah.
What is this one? Okay.
Next.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay, cheers.
And the final project, yes, in normal day in FPT design, I sleep a lot, so I dream that I am become a soldier and I travel in a dreaming world. I kill a COVID. Yes. This process I use a marker, but in that I have a problem because the marker easily quick dry. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. That's a lot of frames. That's 20 frames, but I think it's good because it's really action sequence, changing point of view. I think colors are helpful here to understand the different elements in this case. And there's a narrative and oops, wake up with that. So that's pretty good, I must say. Wait, what's going on? Yeah, what is now? Okay, right. So the rest is okay. I think you explained well. It's all over the place. I think we get a good understanding not only of the inspiration, but also the material. So that was good. All right, thank you, Mr. Viet. After Viet, can I present after Viet, Miss Nyop? Nyunti Nyop. Sure.
Yes, teacher.
1 minute, Miss Nyop, please. Nyunti, where are you? Nyunti Yenluan? No. Where's you? Huh. I don't have your design yet. Where is it? Do you see your design on the screen?
Oh, I just submitted in our map.
You're joking. You submit that today?
Yes, I forget it.
Oh, you forget it, like the final project, right? Okay. Nice. Interesting. I'm joking. What a disaster. Wait. Of course, you're going to be like the last one to present and you're going to lose a lot of points for your presentation. You can go back and meditate on the essence of presenting on time. In many business contracts, when you're dealing with a designer, there's going to be penalty if you're late because everybody is waiting after your design. The digital team, the advertising crew, the TV commercial, the client. So every delay that you have, you usually lose something, you know, like $200 per day or something like that. I wish you could. That would help you to learn to be on time. So let's pause. We need to waste our time for now because, you know, forgot. Submit today. Help us, God. Bam. Seriously. Yeah. No. Wait. Lose my time. I love that. I only have that to do today. And Nyinti Nyup. 2 days and 13 hours late. Interesting. That will be $250, Nyup. Yo. Done. So we have a portfolio, but believe me, you're not presenting now at all. Okay. So evil student will go last. We'll continue with students who remember what the deadline is. So after Nyap, we would have Chanti Minuet. Yeah, that we can do. Do we have a portfolio for Nyet? We have a portfolio, so we're happy. And Nyet, are you there?
Yes.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yep, can hear you. Thank you. Welcome. Tell us about your work, please.
Yes. And
Go.
hello, everyone. Welcome to my portfolio and the next mate. Yes, thank you. The last one, the painting featured a side girl's fight to express technique by strike light with different intensities to show color in light. The strike light also shows the sadness and coolness of the main character. So the next page, please. Thank you. The last two, the name of the pictures is evolution. The diamonds in the middle represents the earth with the broken outlines to indicate that the protective layer or layers is damaged and cycle with different sides to release dust in the air and they come from along cylinder. This cylinders releases industries. So the next page. The lectures in a future collapse, a picture depicting a future portrait of a girl with many achievements, such as traveling to many places and trying many new dishes along with a knowledge by accumulate over many years. And the pictures are mixed in many magazines. So the next slide. The last four, Chris stories, 5 nuances of loss of mother and Chris' journey to find happiness. In the pictures, Chris is a girl who has been unhappy without a mother since a childhood, and that is the journey of her in a struggle to overcome this big pain of loss. We find take a pain including Daniel, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. Finally, Chris efforts pain off. She overcomes her sadness and found herself again. And the last page, last 5, please. Thank you. Rapid Student Diary of Overcome COVID-19. The character in the story part is also me. During the time of social distancing due to the COVID-19 has a significant impact on me, facing that rapid change and make me unable to adapt, leading to depression, anxiety, and stress. And the biggest fear also happens. I got COVID-19. The disease caused a loss of fatigue and difficulty, but with my patience and it was to overcome. I try to protect my health and gradually recover. I continue my favorite study with graphic design, and now the pictures I use makers to yes, that's all. Thank you for listening.
Right, thank you. Yeah, okay. Well, first, your final, I like the work with colors. Different point of view is good. There's a sequence and narrative. I think 5 frame is a bit short, especially if you have a tree. I suggested between 9 and 20. So you need to maybe have more elements in your final in this case. I have problem with your portfolio. First of all, I think that this is very distracting because it's a black and white picture and you have like a pink background. So the background is stronger than your illustration. You may have heard me say it before. You need to have like as big as possible for your work. Your work is number one. That's the thing that should stand out. If there's a colored background, it's distracting. You also have problem with this text. There's not enough contrast of value between this magenta and black. So the text become hard to read. That would be one thing. Same here. I think your artwork should be bigger. Be careful about distracting background. Neutral or no background is recommended. A lot of problem with typography also. You have a typeface here. You have another typeface there. You're going to have another typeface here. Oh, and we're back with another typeface. So you want, a portfolio is a project. So you use like one typeface for titles, one typeface for body throughout. And even a portfolio text is going to be like one line, maybe two. I suggest you're supposed to be there to explain anyway. Okay, thank you for that, Niet. Next, after Niet, Boiti Nyop is requesting, do I have design for tree? Do I now? I do. Okay. Welcome, Tree. Is that you on the cover?
Yes.
Is that your picture?
Yes, my
Is your photo?
about me.
Good. Portfolio is
Yes.
about you. So I prefer that it's like a portrait than, you know, something or clip art. Okay, excellent. Tell us about your portfolio, Tree. Look like Happy New Year, right? Okay, go.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to my portfolio. Last one, black and white emotion. The meaning of this picture is confused. Spiral lines represent this orientation towards something for a certain period of time. We are often a loser because there are too many options for the problem. The big spiral represents a big problem. Small spirals represent confusion about decisions and repeated thoughts in the head. It has another meaning, but it's not an emotion. It's a psychological phenomenon. As we have unsatisfactory things or afflictions in real life, our minds tend to replay the events, objects many times, so it makes us feel more sad, miserable, hurt, although these events have happened in the past.
Next.
The topic of this lab is social issue, but in my opinion, family is a part of society. Every family has its own problem. This picture shows my perspective on current social issues. Everyone has their own source of energy. It is filled with sleep, eating, resting, contacting nature. However, it is also drained of energy by phones, work, contact with, and free annoy people. We gain or lose energy from people and things we come into contact with. And a family when parents run out of energy will be shown by anger, harsh words, argument. The people who are most affected psychologically are children. Lab 3. I realize that food is important to humans. we will affected by it. Vegetarians or vegans will have a healthier source of energy than people who eat meat. That's why I expressed this idea through my artwork, and I wanted to convey this message. I bring the spoon, the vegetable dish, and the typography. We are what we eat. The boy and the background, I use colander paper to cut and paste. The yellow background rarely turns to green, showing freshness and spreading so that each person becomes greener. Lab 4. I present a story from my point of view of observing married relationships. Most early couples are like that. Couples who meet for the first time often look at each other very affectionately, as beautiful as wearing pink glasses, as shown in frames 1 and 2. And when they got married, they gradually give up their glasses after a few years of living together. Bad habits emerge, defects are revealed, love is no longer passionate, lead to conflict, quarrel, and abandonment. I use watercolor material on A3 paper and chibi style to represent this work. Lab 5. The picture that shows how I going through COVID-19 is to see it says a friend. I use Photoshop to draw it. The COVID virus is like a mischievous child. One day he visited me like an uninvited friend. I had to with my job study aside and spend all my time playing with him. I use meditation to observe the symptoms, sharing, eating, doing exercise, meditating together. And on a certain night, the corona friend left without saying goodbye. That's all. Thanks,
Good.
Ma.
I'm glad
Thanks.
that COVID left you. That's good. Okay, I like your final. I think it's very good use of color also. Different point of view is interesting. If I may suggest, maybe you would need, maybe use a less formal typeface for speech bubble. This is very like serif with high ascender, and also maybe not put the speech bubble on top of the background so you can distinguish it. If you're doing computer, you can do 50% transparency to separate the text bubble. That's quite good. Overall, what am I doing? Wait a minute. So overall, it's good. I think at least you have some element, but the typography is consistent. The background palette is consistent. Here I have a problem. I mean, you have a frame, and then 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 you have artwork. So the artwork is like what? Let's be generous. 15% of the slide? No. Need to occupy more space for the first one. The rest is okay because you're consistent with titles and layout. Okay, thank you, Tree. After that, do we have more happy volunteers? No. OMG. Why? Don't be scared. We need to name names. Cool. We present today, huh? I mean, we're gone next week. Right. So, well, let's finish. Pham Thanh Hao would be interesting. Pham Thanh Hao is not there. I thought Pham Thanh Hao was there. I don't see Pham Thanh Hao's work. Yo, let me do a little bit of VMS. LMS, I mean. Gosh, have mercy on me. Boom. Log in again every 5 minutes. It's like you like to do that. Yeah. We're in, yeah. No. Argo, 1 second, please. Bon, ben, négatif. Comme cool, Phantom. Oh, disappointing that. Okay, I guess. Well, let's continue our exploration. Nguyen Tuan Tan. Are you there, Nguyen Tuan Tan?
Yes.
Are you ready to present?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, so I guess we'll start with this. Welcome, welcome. Tell us about your project, please.
Yeah. Okay. Hello, teacher. Hello, everyone. The first project is black and white. I got the idea from myself during my first year at university in Ho Chi Minh City. Because my house is so far from the school, I'm very lonely. Facing the time, I was very stressed with the alarm bell at 5 a.m. Yeah, and the second project, excuse me.
That one, yeah.
Yeah. The second project, I call it Stop the Drama. You also know that there are many conflicts in Vietnam. Through this picture, I want to send a message: stay positive and peaceful. Okay, the third project,
This one, collage, yeah.
Yes, the third project, I took an idea of a normal functioning city. As you all know, due to the pandemic, activities have not really returned. So I did this painting with the hope that the city would be beautiful again. And the next picture, excuse me.
Not sure which is which. This one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I drew from my hobby is basketball. It's happiness. In a match, and the two teams were rallying, and I chose my teammate to make the final trial. And the last project, the last project, I got the idea from myself when I was sick with COVID-19. The picture saw my image, and it was quite difficult to study when I did not have enough tools to carry out the project. Thanks for listening.
Right. Thank you, sir. I think that's a good use of photomontage because there's a sequence. You show the transition from one to the other. So that is good. I think if you are doing photomontage, you can work a little bit in Photoshop or Lightroom to increase contrast or try to put a bit more vibrance in the picture. I think it's good you turn at the end, so there's like a conclusion to the montage. So that was pretty good for that. Overall, good explanation. You should tell us more about like the material you use, the technique with markers, and the source of your illustration and texture. So a little bit more about the technique, the process, and the materials, and also, of course, try to put your work in order. You just drag the pages. It's easy. Okay, thank you for that, Mr. Tan. Nguyen Yen Loan would be next.
Yes,
If
I'm
we
here.
have a portfolio, Nguyen Yen Loan, we do. We wait, we reset, we welcome, and please tell us about your design, Ms. Loan.
Yes, the first, I took inspirations from the movie Eva Legends. This layout is mainly as the follow as mobile frame. I got the layout that's tailored from Pinterest. The next, I want to ask antidotes to the doctor and volunteer who have participated in the prevention of the pandemic. The color and print and during the design process, I got some China artists. Next, when I read the list is impressive, my mind imagines the terrible sunsets, seas, sky, and smile. For me, the future is happiness, the feeling of families. So I use collect style of the corresponding notebook and podcast to do its exercise. With the work, I want people to better understand the inner world of people with the resistance. I myself suffer from the resistance and I understand the panic and despair of it. The scary things about the resistance is that I know it's coming, but I can't stop it. So my main inspirations come from my own expensive with it. Finally, when I think about the fourth lessons, yes, when I doing exercise number one, when this I asked my friend to take the picture to rotate of fun finish. I did thinking and complete the lesson.
Okay. I think that's good because it's dynamic. It's like a series of pictures that have been taken, but create a narrative. And they're laid out in a way that is dynamic. So that is good. I think maybe your title is too big. In terms of hierarchy, the title should be smaller. And I like how you play with desaturation and using color for certain elements. I think it brings interest to the overall element. My problem here is that there's no COVID. Graphic design, so there must be I would prefer if there's a mention somewhere of a pandemic or a COVID or something like that. That would be my only remark. I think you explained well. Your artwork is full page. Overall, the rest is good. Thank you. And after Luan, part of the student that submitted on time. Nyok. Who that?
Yes, teacher.
Well, Nyok, I'm sorry, but like, what's your name? Nyunti Nyok. Okay, no, you're late. You go away. You present after everybody. Those are the late student, horrible student, terrible student. I have Nyen Nyok Tan, though. And do I have a portfolio for Tan? That's a problem. I have like students who... no, I don't. Astabravnia. What's going on with this class? Okay. Well, yes, I think then we are left with evil student who submitted late. Nguyen Quang Hung, I haven't presented yet. I know. Don't panic. You submitted your homework, what, 12 hours late? You should submit in 12 hours, around 2 in the morning. That would be perfect. That will teach you. Okay, fine. We'll do those people who have submitted late. Shame, shame, shame. Wait a minute. So, okay, we're there. So, Nya, yes, you can present now.
Let's go.
Yes,
Welcome,
the
welcome.
first lab,
Tell us about your project, please.
yes, the first lab, black white mood, drawing a black and white pair of
Speak a bit
different
louder,
ideas.
my fair lady. It's hard to hear you. Yeah.
We are sure.
There's some problem with your microphone. Is there like speak directly? There's some wind or hello?
Hello,
Testing 1, 2.
hello, can you hear me?
Better. Yes, please. Okay, carry on.
First of all, I really like the freedom to do what I like. But during the pandemic, that made it impossible for me to do it. I stayed at home for a long time, and the shape of wing on the top of the head with the crow ancestral, which I mean, next
No,
no,
no. Okay, yeah. Right.
the top lab 3 happy future. I very
Okay,
hard
you're
to
right.
travel.
Right, yeah.
Yes, I very much hope to travel this year. The picture shows the dishes to visit plan I have not been to. Eat delicious and new food. Next, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Last 5, there's last 4 musical planet.
That's
This
your
is a
storyboard. Yeah, okay. Number.
story
Yeah.
about love. It's confusing, I think. You can try to find your way into some head, but one answer you can hardly find your way out. Lab 2, social problem. The picture is shows that bottom left to cycle the idea that sometime next to my house, a student commit circuit because of the intern work
That's
of
your final
people
project?
around struck up. A lantern from school friendly and family event houses judged on appearance score. And last 5, a day a graphic design student in a pandemic. It's a photo
That's your
my
final project.
yeah, the final stuff.
It's not a photo montage. That's one photo, miss. Where's the story?
Because I am infected with COVID-19, my health is not good, and I stay at home and still study online during the project. Sitting on the table, open a laptop, and doing homework. On the table are familiar tools used in the drawing and exercise of the subject. Just that on.
Right. Well, it means you boost the vibrance and their saturation. There's a good angle for the picture, but I think the idea is if you use for the final project photo montage, montage is more than one. You need to have a sequence, you need to have a transition, and preferably you're going to use different angles to show some point of view. The explanations are good. The artwork is presented neatly. Okay, good, but please submit on time. I mean, wow.
Yes, for the picture.
So, who else is there? Nguyen Quang Hung, another evil student. You there, Hung?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me be ready. Okay, welcome. Tell us about your work.
Yes, okay. In lab 1, the topic was about love. I was using light to sketch out two faces in two opposite direction, and I added more pattern, which is an impression of the beauty of love. So yeah, so you can see in overall, what I want to convey to the audience is make them feel love as a positive emotion by the softness and various of pattern. Yeah. And, in this lab, this kind of bad color expression, I think. But I think the ideas was good. I get inspired when I unfortunately doing my routines, pick up the phone, I set to social media, and then I suddenly realized this the app social media, it took my time every single day, so I decided to make an illustration of this. At the upper of the horizon, you can see this is two person. The owner of the most powerful social media, and below is the ground, kneeling eyes on phone. And what can it illustrate it for? It's like this two person controlling the people and one day to using their service. Yes. And my third project is making a part from several pieces of paper, and I combine of those into one that make my poster. And in the top of the poster is Stop COVID, which might give the audience some clue about my topic. Is back in the normal life without COVID. And below we can see that people doing their shopping habit, strolling around the park, making businesses, and so on. And next one, yeah. So in this project, you can see I took this from the Spider-Man scene, but it's had another ending. In the short one is Spider-Man is asking for Mr. Strange to traveling back to the time, and moving forward to Saw number 6 is Gwen. Gwen is falling down. Peter trying to save her by his spider suit, and and from the scene number 7.3 to the short 9, the short 8 was in the slow motion. Yes, and in the last my final project is based on Mr. Sylvan's idea. This is me when I joining the meeting, and when he taking a tenant and I falling asleep. So the monster is called the COVID monster suddenly attacked, and it pursuing me. So so I end up with the sequence that 20 shot displays my day in pandemic when I woke up after the dream. Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir. I think that could be a bit more developed. I think the sequence is good in terms of transition and point of view. but you should have a bit more detail in each frame, I think. Be careful also that your title here is so dark, so bold, it seems to be more powerful than all the illustration. So you want your title secondary to the illustration in case. I think you present well. You explain all elements correctly. So for that, that's quite good. Okay. Who's left? We're in the evil students now. Nguyen Quoc Nhật Minh. Where are you? Nguyen
Yes,
Quoc
teacher.
Nhật Minh is here. Okay. Reset. 1 minute, please. Okay. Please welcome Mr. Min. Tell us about your work.
Hello everyone. Today I will present about my first project. My idea is about the view of the people who in love. Like everybody see around the world is normal, but in the view of the people who is love, they can see the many color and many geometric shape and smooth. That's it. My idea about the first project. That one. And next teacher.
Whoa.
Yeah. And yes, and last so it take me a lot of time because this is my first time use of drawing in computer by Photoshop. This idea is about my story in the past. My family is my father sometimes and my mother sometimes they have some violence and the words they saying sometimes it hurt me when I were a kid. So it's like make my interest in my soul and take me a lot of time to like
Okay.
yeah next and
Please.
yeah and last three is about a happy future collapse. I when I make this I read the news